Well, this is Gene. I haven't been talking much on this channel, but I saw a couple of movies today that were released in 2017. Both have strong female lead characters, one more than the other. Um, the two movies are all called Atomic Blonde and Wind River. Uh, some of you that know, I don't like when I see um, female leads being, let's say, not realistic. I talked about Sicario and how very realistic that was. And I think I want to say the same thing about Red River. Uh, to compare the two movies is not very fair, let's say. One's more of an independent type of film about a subject that is known, if you know about it. A lot of Native American women go missing and don't know really what's going on with that, so they made a movie based on something like this, said it's inspired by true events. Well, it is and it isn't, and there's a little background to it. The reason why I didn't watch that movie at first because I thought it was going to be another way to basically be anti-white. And those of you who watch this don't know as much as I talk about on my other channel about what's going on in the West and how we've been shamed now for the last 40, 50 years saying it's our fault for everything. And I didn't want to watch that because I didn't want to get upset while I was watching the movie. And the same thing happened with Atomic Blonde. It's very difficult for me to watch a movie anymore that's so over the top, showing females being able to beat up women and bigger men. But I went ahead and rented both of them at Redbox. I had like a discount code, and so I did it. At some point, I'm going to put my top 17 or my best movies of 2017, and I thought these two need to be reviewed before I make that list. One of them will be in my top 10. The other one won't be. I think you might understand why I would say that. Wind River to me is a masterpiece, one of the best movies of the year. At this point, it's in my top 5. I haven't decided exactly who's number 1 yet, although it's going to be very hard for anybody to beat Blade Runner. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. So, but they're different type of movies. It's hard to compare them. But getting to what I was talking about, what I liked about Wind River was very similar to Sicario, that it showed women who tried to be physical or whatever, and they got checked, let's say. And this movie is more realistic in this way. It shows that women can be strong, can be courageous, can be brave, have that fighting spirit, have the endurance. And in the movie, it talks about this. The girl who's the very beginning of the movie that we find her, and she actually was running for like 6 miles. And throughout the entire movie, it talks about how she's like a warrior. And at the end of the movie, you'll understand what happens. That it's a very important part of the movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, I was worried that it was going to be so anti-West, anti-white, let's say. And there are moments in the movie, but I think that they're all fair. I really do. And there were times that the people that were complaining about their lives got checked, and I like that as well. A lot of these people on these reservations have choices, and for whatever reason they don't take those choices. And it's like people being in the black community in the inner cities, there are choices to be made, and for some reason they don't have the wherewithal to actually take the right choice. Instead they do something and they get hooked on drugs or whatever thing. And I guess on my other channel I talk about this. I talk about fathers and all that stuff, and this is probably the problem in both communities. So comparing the two, obviously Atomic Blonde was action, intrigue, spine, all that stuff, and it was fine. To me, it was like watching that Salt, I think it was, that Jolie did years ago. Very similar, although that in this movie, Thorin is much more physical, let's say. And there were up to about halfway through the movie. At the beginning of the movie, you see her that she's really beat up and all that stuff, and she's basically debriefing all her people. And you're like, oh, see, she's not like a normal woman that goes out and beats everybody, and they don't show anything. So the first half of the movie, it seemed, even though there was some over the top, it was a little bit too much, not that much, but by the end of the movie, it became over the top. The type of punches that she gets hit with, uh, objects that she got hit with, and she, even though she shows on the outside her bruises in the back, she's not walking around like she's got a busted lung or anything like that. And the types of punches that she takes in this movie is not believable. And to be able to get up from the time she got hit by men that are 50, 100 pounds bigger than her. Now, she is a big woman. I mean, she's about 6 foot. She's similar to like Ripley. You know, you can understand why she was tasked or she decided to act for this role, that they wanted her to be involved in this. Different from like Ripley, not Ripley, but Star Wars, and having the female there who has to use her force power, even though she was beating up guys with her staff, and she's like 5 feet and weighs about 90 pounds. At least she's as tall as these men in frame, let's say. But it makes no sense. I mean, overall, it's a fine action type film. Different, great soundtrack. I grew up at that time, where they're at in East Berlin. I was there about that time. I left right before they took down the wall. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff I liked. I liked the stylish of it. I like I said, the sound to it. The story was okay overall. It's a good movie, but it's just way over the top. And you know, just looking at the end of it, just watching how she basically beats 6 or 8 guys, basically, you know, in close combat, and the type of stuff that she gets hit with, and she still is moving along. And then 5 seconds later, when she's debriefing everybody in back in the States, or actually this is in London, I think. Even though she has all these bruises, she's not walking around. She has a cane or anything. And all the guys, I mean, she killed everybody, but these guys would be walking around like this. It's too much. And yes, it's a graphic art novel, and you could just say something, but it makes it look like this is something that could actually happen. I'm not saying that women can't be spies and can't do things, but it's not going to be like that. I haven't seen the new movie with Lawrence that she's a spy too, and I know it's getting mixed review, and I'll probably see it in about a year because I don't like her too much anymore. You know, but anyway, when I want to compare this movie probably will not be in my top 20. It's okay. It's a night. It has good nights. It has good scenes and action sequences, and she does get her ass handed to her many times. But at the end of the day, she ends up killing everybody. So, whatever. And you know, is she like Jason Bourne? Yeah, in a lot of ways. And of course, he's a small guy, so you also have to look at that as well. I mean, this is a guy that probably doesn't weigh any more than Charlize Theron actually weighs. But even then, I think that Matt Damon probably has more of muscle strength than even her. Anyway, I digress. Overall, it was a good movie. Out of a 10, I would probably say 6.5. It kept my interest, and more if it was just a female version of John Wick with some Jason Bourne and maybe some of that salt from before. Whereas Wind River is similar to like High and that one that, what is it called? The same director did it. And so I'm going to buy that movie. I'm going to check out the 4K review on it to see if it's better than the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looked pretty well, but I think on the 4K it'll look even better. The scenery is very nice. And of course, this is something that I've known about for a long time when I talk about the Native Americans and the women being lost and all that stuff. And you know, at the end of the movie, there's a little blurb that says that nobody actually tracks this. Well, I would think that they have their own nation there. If they wanted to do that, they can, and they can report it to the feds. But I get all of it. You know, they don't trust in the white man. Okay. And they have a reason probably not to. Although when you look at the things that they actually have, that they could make their lives a lot better, and a lot of them don't, and that's unfortunate. So I believe that movie should be nominated. I don't think it is nominated for the Academy Award, and I'm not even sure that Blade Runner is either. So it just shows you how high Hollywood is right now. Probably the two best movies of the year are not being nominated, and we're getting more of these SJW movies that are going to be nominated. And a lot of people are actually thinking that Get Out might win the movie of the year, and I have not seen it, and I'm not going to watch the movie. Not yet. You know, I still have not seen Gone Girl. It's hard for me, even though it's a wake up to red pill people, but still, I don't know if I can watch it. I already know what happens. Could have saw that at the very beginning. I didn't need the movie to know exactly where it was going to go. That at the end of the day, she just walk away from everything. She won't get charged with anything. That is how life really is in a lot of ways. So, how I started this whole video over is about how to compare when we actually try to put a strong female character in a movie, and how you can actually sell it realistically, like they did in Sicario, and what they did here with Red River. It's not. You can't do it here with Atomic Blonde, and I'm sure a lot of people have talked about this already, talking about how she beat up guys with her heel. But there's more than this. It's even crazier than that. And, you know, she's very physical in the movie, and fair play to her. She got in shape for it, and she looks something. But I don't think that any of those actual punches that she actually threw in those punches would actually hurt. I mean, it would hurt me. I don't think it would knock me out. So you could be better. Your technique can be better. And if you do it enough, you might actually be able to submit a guy bigger than you, but not 4 and 6 and 8 and 10. It doesn't make any sense. As much as you like everything about the movie and how great and how strong she can be in the movie, and the fact that they showed her getting beat up early in the movie, you knew that at the end that she would end up beat up the same guy later on, and she did. So it's the same, you know, it could be for men as well as whatever. I'm just saying it's not very believable. As good as the movie looked and sounded, her and her arc was not very believable. The story was fine. Seen it many other times. There was no shock at the end, although there was a twist. Didn't really shock me. All the way, that's all I have. Again, I'll just put it up on this channel. Let me know what you thought about both movies. A lot of people like Atomic Blonde. A lot of guys who like action movies love this type of stuff. And I have her and Aeon Flux, which is a worse movie, and I bought that on Blu-ray, and I like watching her beating up people. But in that movie, she was bred to do that. Okay, and it's one of those weird things. And you know, this woman was trained better than what Star Wars is doing with their hero. She never gets trained, and she beats everybody. At least they showed that she was somewhat trained. It's just being able to take that type of punishment from guys who are henchmen, more than one, and you walk away from it. It's just a little bit too much. But the biggest thing about this video is, if you haven't seen Red River, you should do it. It's one of the best movies of the year, and it gets 4 for 4 from me, or a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want me to talk about in this channel, and we'll do that. Thank you for watching. You guys have a good day. Bye.